You're listening to Bedroom Beethovens, where notable music makers break down stories accompanied by songs and melodies documenting growth through their 10,000-hour journey. And me? Well, my name is Cello, your host.
I am a bedroom Beethoven.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 146 of the podcast. My guest this week is...
Yo, I'm Namir Blade. Make beats and rap and play instruments and shit. Yeah, I've done production for Joel Ortiz. The one I produced with Joel also has Sci-Hi the Prince on it, which is pretty fucking tight. I've done shit for Danny Watts. Locally, I've produced for damn near everybody in my city, from the homie Petty to G-Slab to my other homie LA. The list goes on. Like, I just be doing shit. if that makes sense. I will double down.
Fake to the cat scratch, with a boost, with a coupe, with a mask at. This ain't a full flip, it's a clapback. Pull up with the same shit Mad Max at. More life, warp drive, can we hack that? Going nowhere fast and I know where to land when young and no concern about that shit. Trash shit, damn. Is it all a dream? Are we stuck between two lines that never meet? Furlough, carousel, very well, Roswell, single show. Hot as hell, sci-fi, high life, my type, trigon, chest out, best out, 5 times that line. Did now, heard that this shit with the get down. We friends now, long as the friend that you with down. I've been brown, all of the niggas you try to get round. It's me now, baby, let me in like an impound.
Bro, what? Cello here. What's up, everyone? Swinging through the podcast this week, Namir Blade, multi-instrumentalist, producer, and artist from Nashville. He started experimenting at the age of 6. And not with drugs, buddy, but with art. Rap groups in middle school, magnet high school theater, and university audio classes, and now his music is in a video game, and he's getting placement on some pretty big projects. And we talk about everything else, from MTV Music Generator for the PS1 to C-Bear and Jamal, to his days with Coke bottle glasses to when he finally got contacts. Basically, I'm saying we cover all the bases.
Just in the club, back in the club, baby with me and she back in the dub. I take it time bomb, when we reppin' it up, packing it up. Gotta go now, AM, got a show now. Where you stay at? Say that, all gas now, but it breaks at ASAP.
New project out with Larange. Everyone loves him, right? And album number 3 is around the corner on Mellow Music Group. But hey, bedroombeethovens.com is the website. Poke around, have fun, save it to your favorites. YouTube, subscribe to it. Instagram, add me. Apple Podcasts, leave a review. And patreon.com/bedroombeethovens. Give me money. I love you guys. Thanks for listening, supporting me, and hearing these tales. Namir Blade, Bedroom Beethovens. Let's go. Well, how did Inktober treat you last month?
Inktober. I didn't draw shit.
Oh, come on, man.
And it's fucked up because, like, I draw and I paint and shit, but it's been so long since I've, like, just dug into that. I don't even know if I could still draw the same way, but I definitely slept on Inktober. And I think, like, October is, like, when my seasonal depression, like, slid in and collabed with my regular depression, and them niggas just started stomping me out.
So, coincidentally, October is your least productive month.
Hell yeah. October is least productive, and then, like, November. And if I can get through, like, the first week or two in November, then I'll be all right. If I can make it to Thanksgiving, I'll be cool. And then, like, I pretty much run off the steam of Thanksgiving on into December. And I grew up Jehovah's Witness, so like wasn't no fucking Christmas. So now that I'm an adult, it's just like, yeah, I'm finna get the fucking tree. We finna like be in this bitch with gingerbread man, chestnuts roasted on the open fire. I don't know what the fuck that shit is about, but I'm trying to see what's happening with that. Like, I'm finna get the lights. We running the electricity bill up. We watching the Grinch. Like, it's live. The holiday season is probably like my favorite time of the year. And when I was really, really young, we had like Christmas because like my people's was like, my mom, she was like, man, I'm 1 foot in, but like 1 foot out. Like, I want to at least get a kid Christmas. So whenever we would have Christmas when I was really, really young, we go to like her boyfriend's family's spot, and they have like the dinner and the tree, and like, so I got like the routine. But like as I got older, and she got like more into it, that shit just disappeared.
What does that do to you when you have the worst time of your year followed with the best time of the year? I mean, that's a low followed by the highest high.
Man, it really puts a lot of life shit in perspective for you, to be real, because it's just like you experience the best and the worst that life has to offer within like a 2-month period. When I was younger, I didn't really know how to handle that shit. But the older I get, the more I appreciate it, because it's just like my down is pretty down, but I've been through that shit so much. I understand what it means and how to utilize that time and pretty much bide it until like I'm able to come back up again. So usually like when I'm down, I'll be like, all right, I might not write any music or anything, but I'll at least like make a bunch of beats, or like practice playing piano, or like bust out the cello and like work on that shit, or like do guitar shit or whatever. That prepares me for like whenever it's up and like I'm hyped, then I could just do a lot of releases. Like I dropped my first project with Mello. I dropped that shit in November, and that was like on the midst of just like the downslope and then the uptick. So me releasing the project in November made the uptick so fucking hard. Like it was tight as shit, yo. Everybody was like giving me high fives and accolades and shit, and I didn't know how to handle that shit. But like, that shit was like overwhelming, but in a good way. So I appreciate the downs, and I appreciate the ups more.
Yeah, in the poetic words of 50 Cent, you can't enjoy the you can't enjoy the sunshine without the rain, from the fabled poem 50 Cent.
You can't enjoy the sunshine without the rain. You know what I'm saying?
Now, your superhero origin story had some complications, right? There's this thing called a ectopic pregnancy.
Yeah.
And the doctor offered, your mom declined, right? So, I mean, what is that? I mean, what is the worst case scenario with that kind of pregnancy, specifically with your mom saying no? Because it seems if you poll most moms, they would have said perhaps yes to the procedure, right?
Oh yeah. Now they probably like more than ever. They were like, fuck them kids. Get that like me. But look,
she wanted you to like warrior yourself out of it.
Luckily my mom is like a highly religious person, and just like a person of like a really, really strong faith and belief. Like she knew that I was gonna be like a boy before like I was actually like gendered or whatever. And like she tell me the story like all the time, and she'll be like, yeah, you know, I just prayed to God, and I was like, please save my son. And then like the next day, boop, I popped out and attached to whatever the fuck I needed to attach to. And I think I ended up coming early, because I think they said I was supposed to be born on like maybe the 4th or the 5th or some shit. And on the 3rd, I was just like, all right, fam, like let me see what's happening.
Did your dad share in that spiritual thinking?
Hell no, man. My dad, I don't even think he was there for when I was born. Yeah. I don't even really think he was there for when I was born. But then again, like, I don't know. I feel like my uncle was there, and then my dad probably popped up like a little bit later. But I don't even think like he was really like super duper locked in like that, because at that point I was like his 3rd kid. Yeah, I think it was like I was his 3rd kid. So I'm pretty sure, and he was my age. Yeah. I'm pretty sure like he was like around my age when I was being born. So he probably just had so much other shit on his mind and was just like, man, I already got 2 kids. I'm finna have a 3rd kid. I'm trying to be a music producer. Like Bernie Mac just called me into the studio. Like shit like that. Like I don't even know if this kid go be there or not. But like it's like I love him, but Bernie Mac just called me to Chicago to make some music, and I'm trying to build a life for all my kids. So I was like, it could be some shit like that, but I don't know, man. I didn't really start being around my pop until I was about, I want to say like 2, 3. I think that's when the pictures started happening. My mom and dad, they tried to make some shit work for like my sake. And then when I was about 4, that's when I left Milwaukee and moved to Nashville. And I didn't talk to my pop again or really just hear too much from him. I didn't see him again until I had to be like 13, 14.
So him being gone for a decade trying to make those money moves, did any of that stuff come to fruition? Was it worth it?
I don't think it was worth it at all. I feel like he may feel like it wasn't worth it at all because ultimately like the music industry beat him up and tired him out. Personally, man, I'm gonna keep it a buck, yo. I feel like he feels like the music industry defeated him. Whenever I get in any position that I can help him out in the industry, I definitely want to give my pop a second chance. Because it's just like, yeah, I ain't talked to you forever. And for the longest time, I was like mad. And even now, like there's irreparable damage done to me because of that. But it's just like, you get to an age to where like your father's age when they had you and you kind of realize like, fam, he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Like neither him or my mom just really knew what the fuck they was doing because I'm this age and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And it's just like the same shit could happen to me. I could like fall for like a one night stand, or I could reach out to like an ex and like we smooze for one night on some nostalgic shit, and then bam, baby pop up, and both of us confused. Both of us are experiencing a wide spectrum of emotions, and maybe shit might crash and burn. And nobody's really to blame for that. That's just on some like human condition shit. Like some shit works, some shit don't work. Some people be ready for some shit, other people don't, and that should be evident. So yeah, like now it's just like, man, my pop was just like, he was just really just like some fucking dude out here trying to figure some shit out. So I don't really blame him that much. And I definitely want to give him a second try to like just have fun in this industry, because it felt like he didn't have a lot of fun. Like it was the 80s and the 90s. So, and he was in the Midwest. So it was like a weird grind, but now a lot more shit is like independent. There's a lot more ways to make money and to survive in this shit than I guess back then. So it's just like, fam, like, come on tour with me, Pop. Like, you could be the tour manager, bro. I'd rather pay you than pay like some fucking weirdo.
Yeah, why can't it just be easy? Like, you know, when you're forming a rap crew in middle school, you know, there's probably not that much drama. It's probably easier. You don't have to deal with labels, and it's just fun.
Yeah, yo, I definitely did for him. You were good.
I did some digging.
Good. Like I see how you fucking slid that shit in, yo. And it's funny too because I recently reconnected with the other guy that I rapped with in middle school, because it was 3 of us. It was me, my homie LA, and the other homie Ace. But now he goes by Rio Tokyo. And I got invited to do like some production in this session. Yeah, he just popped up in that bitch. And I was just like, bro, it's so good to just see you rapping again. Because for a while, you didn't hear nothing from him. He had like kids and he was doing the dad shit, which was tight as fuck. Like, hell yeah, go be a dad. Fuck rap. Like, do that. It's like kids are so much more fun than rapping. Because back then we didn't know how to get into the studio. We were in the 6th grade. Like, what nobody gonna let us into their shit?
Unless you know Jermaine Dupri.
The only reason why like the group ended was because we all went to different high schools.
Yeah, Nashville School of the Arts is a public magnet high school. Was that a good or bad experience?
It was kind of both. That year I got contact lenses, and like the year before, the hoes were not checking for me. And that year was the first time that all the women's was checking for me for the most part, more than I ever experienced in middle school. So it was the shit. I went crazy. Like, I was probably the most charismatic person ever my freshman year of high school. And then after that, I realized that I didn't really fuck with people like that in the first place. So I went back to being an introvert. But freshman year was tight. I did no work that year. I skipped so many classes to go into other classes. I'll probably say my favorite class, speech and creative dramatics. I forget the name of the teacher. Maybe it was like Miss Kendall or some shit. But we used to do radio dramas and shit. And we used to do radio dramas. We did public speaking, which I fucked that up. We had to do like story time. So we did a debate it was like a debate thing. And the topic that I got was euthanasia. I did not study for that shit at all because I was a young man. I was outside, just outside, fam, wilding out. So I didn't give a fuck about that. The next day we had the debate shit and we were picked first to go up. And I forget who the fuck I was battling against, but I know they like probably hated my guts because I just improvised that whole shit. I called euthanasia cruel and unusual punishment, all types of just like wild ass shit. And I failed that shit. And I had a long talk. I had a long talk with the speech and creative dramatics teacher, which was pretty much just like, fam, you were wasting your potential. She was like, you got such a good voice and such good diction. Like, why the fuck? And back then I didn't know it, but I was salty. I fucked up my stay at NSA because I was salty because I wanted to get into that school for piano and I didn't get in for piano. I feel like because I didn't know how to read music.
Well, in order to get into NSA, you can't just go, right? You have to audition. It's either you interview or you audition or you write an essay. Which one did you do? I
auditioned and I wrote an essay and I interviewed. And I got a letter of recommendation from my theater teacher, Dr. Gray, because she believed in me and cared.
What was the audition? Are you just spitting gorilla bars?
Man, I wish, yo. That shit would have been ill as fuck. My audition was I literally improvised what I could remember from Midsummer's Night Dream from Shakespeare. I played Oberon, the king of the fucking fairies, a year prior in that play. And I just remember like young, undeveloped me was just like, king of the fairies, man. And then like I actually got into the role and like studied like the type of shit that Oberon was on. And I was just like, yo, this nigga is crazy mischievous, just on some like manipulate matter, space and time type shit. So I was like, all right, I fuck with this. I really got into the role heavy. And I didn't even think I was gonna get in based off that. I just like bullshit that. And I really tried with piano and I ended up getting in for theater and I was livid.
Ripley, Tennessee, you were doing some stuff around there as well.
Yeah. So my freshman year, I went to NSA. Sophomore year, I went to Hillsborough Comprehensive High School, which was my first experience with having an audio technology class. Shout out to Mr. McCracken. I don't even know if he alive no more, but if he alive, shout out to him.
I don't think he listens to this podcast.
Hey,
but-
fuck it. I'm gonna send it to him. I'm gonna find him on Facebook. You know you can find all the old niggas on Facebook. I'm gonna find him and send that shit. Hey, you. But so I went to Hillsborough, and then after that, my mom was just like, "You doing too much here. You're gonna move to Ripley, Tennessee, with your grandparents, where it's slow. You can't get into trouble. Like you need a man in your life." And so I went to live with my uncle and my granddad and my step grandma, Mary. And going to Ripley, going to high school in Ripley was pretty dope. That's where I learned about like metal, folk, punk music, like that. And that's when I started joining bands and shit, was in Ripley. And the school was so easy. I was so advanced. That school was like literally on some like, we risk being closed by the states. And I slid in that bitch and like help raise the overall test scores and shit. And it was super dope. It was super dope. It was like doing a new game plus. I could be anybody I wanted to be at that school.
I heard a song that took the theme from Rocky and they remixed it for the Ripley High School team. T. McGee and Nick West, were we ready?
My boys. So when I first went there, yeah. Like I had already just like established myself as a rapper at NSA and Hillsborough, but I was away from the homies. So it was just me and Ripley. I went down there and I was just like, I'm finna be the best rapper in this whole entire school. And I get there and like I'm rapping and shit. I think to one of my homies, who I found out like it was my cousin, my homie Steven, and we call him Blackwell. I'm rapping to him in like I think physical science class. And he's just like, hell yeah, man, you was like, bro, you hard, bro. But you know, man, T. McGee is the best rapper in the school, man. And I'm like, who the fuck? What the fuck is a T. McGee? And I finally, I don't even remember like, cause I seen him in passing or whatever. And like, we rapped and it was cool. But me and T. McGee didn't become real close until like the summertime because we hung out with like two different like demographics. Like he was like the class president, but he was also like from the hood. So it's just like, he was like pretty much like the Esquire of all the hood niggas.
Start a brand new relationship with you. I know it's wrong, but it feels right. This is what I feel like. You make me want. I even one with so you relationship with you.
I think the summer of I want to say 2009, Obama had administered a stimulus package, and what the school did was they used the stimulus package they got from Obama to do like a summer work program for like some of the kids in school or whatever. So they had me, they had T. McGee, who was the class president, and I think they had like the basketball team captain, which was Cohill, and like this other cat on the baseball team, Jacoby. They had all of us like coming to the school to do something. And we were selected by the principal. And we're thinking that like, oh, word, like we finna like be on some like teaching type shit and this is gonna be easy money. No, fam. We were maintenance people for the schools. Like they had us weed eating. They had us mowing the grass. We was driving the golf court all around the campus, fucking buff the hallways, rearrange classrooms, clean desks. It was insane. And we had to be up and at that bitch at like 5 a.m. And that summer was where like all of us really got close to one another and like we started kicking it like super tough, especially me and T. McGee. Like that was the summer that the Cool Kids dropped Gone Fishing with Don Cannon, and we bumped that shit the whole summer because I had my laptop with me, And that shit was just like a big thing. It's like, oh, you in high school with a laptop? Oh, you going crazy.
Middle Tennessee State University is up next, and it has an acceptance rate of 94%, but only a graduate rate of 42%. So the Nashville Monster is a real thing.
Yeah, yo, it's literally a party school, yo. You go there, you do a bunch of drugs, and you get really, really depressed because everybody there kind of just sucks. And you meet like a handful of like really, really good people, and then they end up like passing after you after you graduate or after you then left. And yeah, so it's the best worst experience I've ever had with going to college, but I wouldn't trade that shit for the world. Now the actual MTSU, it's a bitch. I went for a recording industry, and in order to get into the recording industry program, which I didn't even really know, but you had to get candidacy into the program, and in order to get candidacy, you had to like pass a bunch of prerequisites stemming from like college algebra to science to like a bunch of other shit. Like, and it was a bitch getting candidacy. Then I found out later on that even if you do get candidacy, the competition is so high in that field, you might not even get a chance to get into the program, even like once you pass all the requirements. So I was just like, I'm going to drop out.
Well, some guy told you your degree path was worthless.
Hell yeah. I was at a party at this spot called Trash Mountain, like drunk and blazed out of my mind and in a downward spiral and experiencing the most intense quarter life crisis ever. And yeah, he was just like, you won't be able to do shit with this degree except for be a sound guy at a country music spot, do live sound downtown Nashville, which is literally the pits of hell. Like, God no. So yeah, it was just like, with all this information, I can't stay at the school. I'm gonna just owe more money.
You know who Tay Keith is?
Yeah, man, I already fucked them niggas up. But no. I never knew Tay Keith personally, but because he went to MT way after. After
I was about to say he graduated there from last December, and he produced Drake's Nonstop and Travis Scott's Sicko Mode and got a Grammy nod. So whoever told you your degree path was worthless was a hater. Because
yeah, man, they fucked me up.
Now, Jordan Webb, your partner, though, he dropped out of college too at Belmont University in Nashville. He said it stood in the way of him pursuing music. I don't know, man. Did you feel kind of the same way? Let's just say, let's take that quarter life crisis off the table. Was education a roadblock?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it was, man. Like for me in particular, I've been doing music since I was really young. I've been audio engineering since I was 15, 16. As I got older, I realized that I didn't really need a degree to validate the fact that I'm a damn good producer and I have songs in my heart that I want to like be able to get out and shit. It's just like, I need a degree for none of that shit. And I didn't really need to, like, all I needed to do is just do the actual work instead of trying to learn, because I feel like, and even in retrospect, it's just like, I feel like if I would have took that time and like did the university pathway, I feel like how I made music would have changed and I would have become a more methodical producer versus being a more intuitive, an intuitive producer. And I feel like I'd be more afraid to take uncalculated risks, to where it's like where I'm at right now, I don't be giving a fuck, bro. Like last night, I just made a beat with, I got the game right here. Let me see what this shit is called. MTV's music generator for the PlayStation 1.
I remember that.
Yeah, yo, I just like made that shit and then sampled it into my interface and like edited the audio. So it's just like, if I would have like did NTSU how I was supposed to do it, or like how traditionally everybody else does it, I don't think that I would be brave enough to try to be like, yeah, I'm a cop MTV Music Maker and like plug this shit up into this shit and just see what happens.
And two months after forming Super Struggle Brothers, Jordan moved to California, and you didn't follow.
Punk ass.
That was a selfish move on his part?
Yeah, man. I hate Jordan, bro. Like, Jordan, if you listening to this, bro, nah, I'm joking. But nah, man, it sucked to see my boy leave, but at the same time, like, I knew it's just like, man, California is gonna do so much for you. It's gonna do so much for you. Like, he has like the go-getter type mentality to just get out there and make some shit happen. And he moved out because we were both working for Lyft corporate at the time, and we were just in the pits of like the corporate America startup company rigmarole scam shit, and we kind of were just like, man, this kind of sucks. It doesn't suck as much as like other call center jobs, but it's like it's starting. It's like other call center jobs disguised as we're not a call center job. Because it's like if you work for a company like Asurion or some shit, it's just like you're just in the pits, you're in the doldrums. But like working for like a lot of these startup tech companies who like aren't even really startups anymore, that's just like their origins. But like working for those, it's like it's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's just like, hey, we're not like those other companies. Take these free snacks. We have a great community here. We love you. And then when it come time to run numbers, or if you like just happen to be going through shit in life, they're just like, work harder. And it's just like, but I thought like y'all cared. And they were just like, we do care. Remember? Work harder or you're fired. So we seen that shit and was like kind of just trying to figure out moves to get out. And he was just on some shit to where he was just like, bro, like, I just got this opportunity working at this other company. It's based in Oakland, so I'm going to just slide there. And I was like, fuck it, bro. Slide, man. It's like, I'm going to miss you. But at the same time, it's like, you got to do whatever is best for you. And I know you'll be able to grow more there than you can here. And it's just like, then you could be a beacon for me and like all the rest of us who want to go there and make something of ourselves. Like you could be like a beacon and form a pipeline for Nashville niggas to get out to LA and do LA shit, which when I went to LA, that's pretty much what's been going on. So I'm proud of the boy, man.
So how are you being treated at, like, you kind of explain how those jobs treated you. If I'm asking you about your current label, Mellow, you know, you've had 2 projects dropped in there. How are they treating you? Like if you went up to them and said, like, I want to continue the misadventures of King Devore and Blackfoot. Let's release a comic book and accompanying visual music videos. Do you have the autonomy at this point to do decisions like that, or the leash is still kind of tight?
I feel like at the point to where I'm at, I don't even feel comfortable coming to him for that because I'm still trying to make myself a priority in the label, because it's just like when I first when I first got signed, it's just like, man, I had it's like I had Christopher. I had him, Open Mike Eagle, Joel Ortiz, not even Stolly back then, Sky Zoo, Odyssey, like all of these just like crazy acts. And like I knew I was just like, fam, it's like, yeah, like Mellow fuck with me, but it's just like those are the breadwinners right there. So like it's crazy to think that like I can even come close to that yet when I'm only 2 albums in. Mellow definitely gives me a lot of creative freedom. Amazing dude to talk to, like not even like on business shit, but just in general. Like has a lot of gems, a lot of like industry stories and shit. And yeah. Like I'm honestly thankful that like he fucks with me and he supports me like he does, because I'm just starting out on this level. Like, it's levels to the shit. I did like the whole like underground local legendary status grind. Now I'm like in the in between space of like upper underground echelon and like peeking into like the industry. And it has been a battle, yo. It's been a battle. Like, I've experienced moments to where like I wasn't that confident in the work or like my skill set or like my relevancy. And it's crazy to experience that and then have like one day to where the shit just flips on its ass and like you're just like, NPR just fucking reviewed your shit. So it's a crazy ass dichotomy. But I feel like Mello believes in me. He has a certain amount of trust in me and my artistic vision, and like I think he just wishes that the pandemic didn't have such a damper on my first release.
Here's what I want for you. You know who Yasunori Mitsuda is, right?
Yeah.
His first job was Chrono Trigger. It's almost like Nas's Illmatic, where your first workers are most revered. But here's where it gets gangsta. Up until that point, he only did sound effect work. He woke up one morning, he walked into Squaresoft's office and said, "You either let me compose the soundtrack to Chrono Trigger, or I'm going to leave the company." And there might come a point where you have to make a Mitsuda move like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, most definitely, man. Personally, I have a lot leaning on my next release. I've been pretty much writing, recording, getting everything ready, and like back and forth on the phone with him. And we both came to an agreement that like we want to do all we can to make this recording larger than life and bring people back to Aphelions and give that shit like the just due that it deserves. Because I personally feel like Aphelions is an amazing album. That's like on my fucking like Magna Carta, like yeah, yo, it's just my fucking like the expression of everything inside of me to the world, yo. And like one of the most brilliant paintings as far as like words and sounds that I've done up to date, and like it's like a good a culmination of everything that I've ever done in the music industry led up to me putting out that album at that caliber. And yeah, I want to do everything I can to make sure that motherfucker is still being celebrated no matter what. I love Imaginary Everything too, but Imaginary Everything was something different for me. It was more so just like, how well can I work with others in the industry, and how can I push myself rap wise?
On that new album, can you get a guest appearance from Tone Loc? Because Tone Loc was in Titan AE 20 years ago.
Yeah, yo. I actually have Titan AE on VHS, man.
I remember shit like Seabear and Jamal and all that shit, but I need a...
Yeah, Seabear and Jamal, yo. Fuck. That's been forever. I forgot all about that shit. Yo, people don't give Tone Loc his flowers, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. I wasn't joking. You get a little guest feature from him, I bet you he's cheap because he's underrated.
Hell yeah, yo. Never mind. I hope you stay on. I might not get a guest feature. I need him to stay underrated for my next. I need to be able to afford you. Yo, the next album after I drop this album, I'm gonna just say fuck it and like just go for a bunch of features. Cause I just realized that like I can get features from a lot, like damn near anybody. Like anybody that I want features from. It's like some of this shit is just like way out of my range, but it's just like, nah, I know I can get some of these motherfuckers.
Well, and then lastly, you're on an NBA 2K game. So do you want to take this opportunity to tell all the kids that made fun of you to go fuck themselves?
All the kids that made fun of me, go fuck yourself. Suck my dick, bro. I made it. Y'all are in jail. Y'all got 1 million kids now. It's me. This is my time. You had your time. Homie, this is my... No, I'm bullshitting. I wish every single one of you would fail. Oh Oh man.
I mean, real talk, I created this podcast to celebrate people like you. Obviously, I'm a genuine fan because I tracked you down. So, peace and blessings to you. Appreciate you being here, bro.
Nah, bro. I appreciate you for having me on. Like, I love going on shit and just talking to people who like my music. Because it's just like I have a personality. A lot of rappers don't have personalities. I did an interview with StockX, and bro was just like, bro, you my favorite rapper to interview. You don't know how many people just come on this bitch and just be boring. I was just like, I can't, bro. I'm broke. So like, just the fact that I get to do shit like this from being like a little like a brokey is just like, nah, that shit everything to me. Give me some Yeezys right now.